UFOs, ghost towns, haunted lakes, invisible blimps, and that's just the warm-up. The US has a long, weird habit of attracting mysteries that no scientist, soldier, or skeptic has ever been able to fully explain. Some are terrifying, some are hilarious, some are just, what? But all of them are real, documented, witnessed, and still totally unsolved. So grab your flashlight and maybe some tinfoil, because we're going deep into 101 of the strangest mysteries in American history. 1. Imagine you're calmly fishing in Pascagoula, Mississippi in 1973, and suddenly you're abducted by aliens with lobster-like claws. Sounds like someone overdosed on seafood, right? But Charles Hickson and Calvin Parker insisted it was real and passed polygraph tests. To this day, no one's sure if they encountered extraterrestrial chefs or if the entire town had one really weird weekend. 2. One night in 1945, farmer Lloyd Olson chopped the head off his chicken, Mike, for dinner. But Mike disagreed and continued living headless for another 18 months. Touring across America, Mike became famous, earning more than the average TikTok star today. Scientists were baffled, audiences amazed, and vegetarians slightly horrified. Nature's greatest rebel, folks. 3. Back in 1896, it wasn't aliens buzzing the skies. It was something weirder. Mystery airships with pilots claiming to be from Mars, asking locals about farming tips. Thousands saw these floating oddities across America, and newspapers wrote about them seriously. Either Mars desperately needed potatoes, or someone built the world's earliest PR stunt to sell tractors. 4. Ever heard of the Kentucky meat shower of 1876? On a sunny day, chunks of raw meat inexplicably rained from the sky, terrifying locals and confusing scientists. People even tasted it, identifying beef and venison, but nobody could explain where it fell from. Meteorological meat delivery or airborne barbecue gone horribly wrong? The mystery remains deliciously unsolved. 5. In 1987, Chicago television viewers expecting a Doctor Who rerun instead got hacked by someone wearing a Max Headroom mask, ranting nonsense and spanking himself with a fly swatter. Authorities never found the culprit, leaving Americans wondering whether it was cyber terrorism or the birth of trolling. Personally, I suspect a rogue Time Lord. 6. The dancing plague of 1518 is famously European, but America had its own strange dance outbreaks, like in Seattle, 1909, where dozens started uncontrollably shaking, convulsing, and dancing for days. Doctors blamed everything from hysteria to spoiled food. Frankly, it might have just been Seattle's first rave. No glow sticks required. 7. In 1859, Emperor Norton crowned himself the ruler of the United States from San Francisco. Despite being penniless and powerless, locals humored him, even accepting his homemade currency. How he convinced an entire city to respect his imaginary empire is still a mystery. Politicians, take notes. This man achieved your dreams without a single debate. 8. In 1971, an unknown hijacker named D.B. Cooper parachuted from a plane mid-flight over Washington state with $200,000 and vanished without a trace. The FBI spent decades searching, suspects piled up, yet Cooper remained elusive. Now he's a folk hero, because let's face it, jumping from a plane wearing sunglasses and a suit is stylishly badass. 9. There's a rock in Massachusetts known as Dighton Rock, covered in cryptic carvings nobody can decipher. Vikings, Phoenicians, aliens doodling on a camping trip? Experts still argue, tourists still scratch their heads, and conspiracy theorists confidently blame it on Bigfoot practicing calligraphy. Because why not? 10. In 1947, just days before Roswell, a UFO allegedly crashed in the San Agustin Basin of New Mexico. Witnesses said they saw humanoid bodies and a strange metal. Unlike Roswell, this incident was buried fast. Too fast. Makes you wonder, was Roswell a distraction from this one? 11. In 1966, Point Pleasant, West Virginia, got an uninvited guest. A towering figure with glowing red eyes dubbed the Mothman. Locals spotted it lurking near an old munitions site, and soon rumors exploded about omens, curses, even government experiments gone wild. Whether it was a mutated owl or cosmic prank, the Mothman remains an enduring Appalachian legend. 12. Rumor has it the Navy tried to make the USS Eldridge invisible in 1943's so-called Philadelphia experiment, accidentally teleporting sailors through space, and maybe through walls. Witnesses claimed the ship vanished before their eyes, leaving behind traumatized crew members and a swarm of conspiracy theories. The Navy denies it, but the legend refuses to sink. 13. Built in 1980, the Georgia Guidestones appeared mysteriously on a hill in rural Georgia, etched with cryptic messages in multiple languages, like a doomsday instruction manual. Funded by a stranger using a fake name, they fueled wild theories about secret societies or alien architects. Despite their destruction in 2022, their original purpose is still anyone's guess. 14. In 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University picked up a sharp, 72-second signal so strange that astronomer Jerry Eamon scribbled "Wow" next to the data printout. Nobody ever repeated that signal, and no definitive source was identified. Was it an alien butt dial or just cosmic static? The debate rages on like an interstellar ghost. 15. There's a Bermuda Triangle-type phenomenon right on Lake Michigan, and it's been swallowing ships, planes, and rational explanations for decades. The Lake Michigan Triangle has seen phantom lights, weird compass readings, and random vanishings that baffle even seasoned sailors. Whether it's vengeful lake spirits or bored extraterrestrials, it's America's freshwater portal to the unknown. 16. Long before Stranger Things, New York's Montauk Project rumors claimed secret labs conducted mind control experiments at Camp Hero, messing with space-time and kidnapping teens. Locals whispered about men in black, psychic soldiers, and monstrous creatures lurking underground. No official records confirm it, but maybe they're just really good at wiping memories. Cue the spooky music. 17. Over in West Texas lies Marfa, a small desert town famous for its mysterious Marfa lights. They twinkle, bob, and sometimes split into multiple orbs at night, leaving visitors baffled. Explanations range from ghosts with flashlights to refracted car beams, but nobody's pinned down a solid cause. They're basically the world's weirdest disco ball, without the Bee Gees soundtrack. 18. In southwest Washington state, you'll find Mima Mounds, countless dome-shaped hills dotting the landscape like nature's bubble wrap. Scientists have pitched theories from giant gophers to ancient earthquakes. Nothing's confirmed. It's like Mother Earth left puzzle pieces everywhere but forgot to give us the instructions. So now geologists just stand around shrugging, like we all do with IKEA furniture. 19. Deep in Northern California's redwood forests, some visitors report phantom lights dancing among the ancient trees. They're said to flicker, disappear, and even follow startled hikers. Aliens checking out some majestic foliage or nature's old-fashioned light show. Locals joke about redwood fairies with a sense of humor. Truth is, nobody can fully explain the glow. 20. In Minnesota's Judge C.R. Magny State Park, the Brule River splits around a rock formation, creating one waterfall that plunges into a pool and another that vanishes down a mysterious hole called the Devil's Kettle. Scientists tried pouring dye and ping-pong balls to trace the flow. Nothing reappeared downstream. It's like Mother Nature's personal magic trick, minus the top hat. 21. Detroit has a mischievous goblin-like figure called the Nain Rouge, said to appear before disaster strikes. French settlers once claimed it harassed them, and modern sightings still pop up in surprising places. Some blame the Nain Rouge for everything from fires to sports team failures. It's the city's official scapegoat. Move over, Murphy's Law, you've got competition. 22. In the late 19th century, a silent wanderer nicknamed Leatherman roamed a 365-mile route between the Hudson and Connecticut rivers, dressed head to toe in handmade leather. Locals fed him, but nobody ever got him to talk much or found out his true identity. With zero documentation or backstory, he remains an odd folk legend wearing the ultimate thrift store outfit. 23. Tucked inside a New Jersey shopping center's parking lot is Mary Ellis's solitary grave, once part of her family's farm. Legend says she was waiting for a sea captain who never returned, so she was buried facing the river. Over time, the property changed, Asphalt surrounded the plot, yet Mary's grave stands firm, like a romantic, eternal roadblock. 24. Death Valley's sailing stones are rocks that inexplicably move across the desert floor, leaving long tracks behind them. For years, visitors suspected aliens or bored ghosts playing shuffleboard. Eventually, scientists realized rare rains freeze, forming thin ice sheets that push the stones in the wind. But for decades, it was the best-kept secret in the desert's weird Olympics. 25. The spook light near the borders of Missouri, Oklahoma, and Kansas has perplexed night travelers since the 19th century. People describe a bouncing orb of light that appears on rural roads before suddenly vanishing. A lantern-wielding ghost? Electric swamp gas? Romantic stagehand? Local investigators still can't pin it down. Talk about a small-town nightlife with real glow. 26. Deep in southeastern Massachusetts lies the Bridgewater Triangle, a bizarre hotspot of UFO sightings, ghostly apparitions, and even Bigfoot reports. Locals whisper about giant snakes, glowing orbs, and haunted swamps that could put a Hollywood horror set to shame. If you ever visit, just remember, wandering into the Hockomock Swamp unprepared might earn you a starring role in your own paranormal thriller. 27. Bigfoot mania has gripped Americans for decades, turning quiet forests into cryptid-themed scavenger hunts. Some claim they've caught glimpses of a towering, hairy hominid crossing roads or stealing picnic snacks. Others say it's just a grumpy bear having a midlife crisis. Yet the legend roars on, spawning TV shows, merchandise, and an undying hope of shaking hands with Sasquatch someday. 28. One chilly April night in 1977, a teen in Dover, Massachusetts, spotted a small humanoid with glowing orange eyes and no nose or mouth, instantly dubbed the Dover Demon. Classmates also reported sightings of this strange creature lurking near stone walls. Was it a lost alien, a mutant raccoon, or just an elaborate school prank? Even the demon won't confess. 29. In rural Washington, there's a legendary bottomless pit known as Mel's Hole. Locals insist it can swallow anything, refrigerators, dead livestock, even a car, without ever filling up. Rumors say it's used in secret experiments involving alien technology or dimensional portals. Skeptics roll their eyes, but believers won't dare toss their mother-in-law down there just to prove a point. 30. The Lizard Man of Scape, or Swamp, South Carolina, slithered into headlines in 1988 when locals reported a giant reptilian humanoid attacking cars and livestock. Some folks blamed comic book fantasies running wild. Others insisted they saw claw marks and green scales. Either way, it's not the ideal neighbor you'd want borrowing sugar at 3 in the morning. 31. Late at night in 1903, the quiet town of Van Meter, Iowa, was invaded by a bizarre flying beast with a glowing horn. It swooped from rooftops, terrifying residents who tried and failed to shoot it. By sunrise, the creature vanished into an abandoned mine. Locals still speculate whether it was a pterodactyl on vacation or a monstrous figment of group hysteria. 32. In North Carolina, the Brown Mountain Lights appear as mysterious orbs drifting above the ridges. Native legends spoke of ghostly warriors searching for lost friends, while modern explorers blame swamp gas or clever optical illusions. NASA got curious too, but never pinned down a cause. If you visit, bring popcorn. The show can be more dramatic than a Hollywood premiere. 33. The Great Clown. Panic of 2016 swept across the U.S. as reports flooded in of sinister clowns lurking near schools, forests, and dark parking lots. While most turned out to be hoaxes or viral pranks, parents panicked, and law enforcement scratched their heads. Nobody knows why so many jumped on the clown bandwagon. Maybe red noses were half off. 34. Arizona's Phoenix Lights soared into infamy in 1997, when thousands witnessed a massive V-shaped formation hovering overhead for hours. Official explanations ranged from military flares to weather balloons, but many watchers weren't buying it. Some blame an alien pit stop, others suspect top-secret government tech. Whatever it was, it sure beat looking for shapes in normal clouds. 35. Ask San Antonio locals about the ghost tracks, and they'll tell you about an old railway crossing where unseen forces supposedly push stalled cars off the tracks, saving them from phantom trains. Some say it's the spirits of children who once perished there. Skeptics say it's an optical illusion. Either way, it's a weird place for a ghostly safety patrol. 36. In various East Coast cities, you might stumble upon Toynbee tiles, cryptic messages embedded in asphalt that reference resurrecting the dead on planet Jupiter, among other odd claims. No one knows who places them or why. They pop up randomly like cosmic post-it notes, turning busy crosswalks into philosophical riddles. Talk about leaving your mark, literally, on the world. 37. Salem's House of the Seven Gables is famous for its literary ties to Nathaniel Hawthorne, but some visitors claim more than just history lingers there. Footsteps on empty staircases, flickering lights, and eerie whispers in corridors hint at ghostly roommates. Sure, it might be old pipes, but in Salem, land of witch trials, paranormal explanations feel a lot more fun. 38. Florida's skunk ape is like Bigfoot's sweatier cousin. Alleged sightings describe a foul-smelling, hairy hominid lurking in the Everglades, rummaging through trash and giving hikers the shock of their lives. Critics say it's just a smelly bear with bad hygiene, or maybe your uncle on vacation. Either way, keep your nose alert if you venture into the swamps. 39. Docked in Long Beach, California, the RMS Queen Mary isn't just a retired ocean liner, it's a floating paranormal playground. Guests hear phantom children giggling by the pool, see apparitions in corridors, and feel mysterious cold spots. Tour guides say it's history echoing through metal hallways. Cynics blame a hyperactive imagination. Either way, spirits apparently love room service. 40. Chicago's Resurrection. Mary haunts Archer Avenue with a classic hitchhiker twist. Drivers pick up a pale young woman in a white dress. She asks for a ride to Resurrection Cemetery, then promptly vanishes upon arrival. Tales date back to the 1930s, making Mary a local legend, and arguably the worst Uber passenger in American ghost lore. 41. Body, California, is a genuine ghost town where 19th century buildings still stand, and visitors swear they've heard phantom footsteps echoing through abandoned saloons. Local myth warns of a body curse that strikes anyone who steals relics from the site. It's basically nature's booby trap for souvenir collectors, so maybe just buy a postcard at the gift shop instead. 42. Venture into Hawaii's remote valleys, and you might encounter the Night Marchers, ghostly warriors who roam sacred grounds accompanied by pounding drums. Legends say if you see them, you must lie flat in respect, or suffer a quick trip to the afterlife. Whether it's an ancient tradition or a tourism scare tactic, you'll definitely think twice before that midnight hike. 43. The Outer Banks of North Carolina tell chilling tales of a ghost ship called the Carol A. Deering, found abandoned in 1921 with food still on the table, but not a soul on board. Investigations suggested piracy, mutiny, or a Bermuda Triangle extension. Whatever the cause, the empty decks remain a maritime question mark and a favorite campfire story. 44. Centralia, Pennsylvania, has been on fire, underground, since 1962. A coal seam ignited beneath the town, forcing almost all residents to evacuate. Roads buckle, smoke seeps from vents in the earth, and street signs lead nowhere. Conspiracy theories abound, but the reason is simpler. Coal fires don't care about zip codes. These days, Centralia is ghostly proof of unstoppable natural forces. 45. The Lost Dutchman's gold mine in Arizona's Superstition Mountains has lured treasure hunters for over a century. Many search for the legendary fortune said to be hidden in labyrinthine canyons. Some vanish, some return empty-handed, but the lure of quick riches endures. Is it just a tall tale? Perhaps. But if it's real, the tumbleweeds aren't talking. 46. Beneath Denver International Airport lies a maze of tunnels and bunkers so strange it's inspired decades of conspiracy theories. From secret Illuminati headquarters to underground alien bases, people have imagined it all, fueled by bizarre murals, cryptic symbols, and a demon-eyed horse sculpture that looks like it escaped a Metallica album cover. Even if it's all innocent, it's weirdly innocent. 47. In 1973, a Pennsylvania man named Stan Gordon received reports of UFOs and Bigfoot being seen together. Yes, apparently even cryptids carpool. Witnesses claim to see hairy creatures exiting strange craft in the woods. alien zoologists, interdimensional tourists, or just folks who had one too many moonshines. Either way, it's a cosmic crossover episode nobody asked for. 48. The Winchester Mystery House in San Jose is a mansion built without logic, purpose, or, let's be honest, proper architectural supervision. Staircases lead to ceilings, doors open into brick walls, and the number 13 appears everywhere. Legend says Sarah Winchester was trying to confuse vengeful spirits. Honestly, it confuses living guests just fine. 49. In 1872, the Mary Celeste was found adrift in the Atlantic with its cargo intact, dinner set on the table, but not a soul on board. While it's often called a maritime mystery, American sailors discovered the ghost ship and brought it to public attention. Pirates, mutiny, Kraken with table manners? We still don't know, and yes, it's spooky. 50. Way up in Alaska, residents of Nome have gone missing in such suspicious numbers that it caught the FBI's attention. Locals blame alien abductions, strange lights in the sky, and even portals. Officially, it's alcohol-related wanderings. Unofficially, Nome might just be the setting for Earth's least friendly cosmic Airbnb. 51. The mysterious Gadsden ghost train in Alabama has reportedly been heard rumbling through the night long after the tracks were removed. Locals describe the sound of a steam whistle, the clack of invisible wheels, and even phantom lights. So either it's a haunting, or someone's messing with really niche train sound effects. 52. In the early 2000s, US military pilots began encountering tic-tac-shaped UFOs, performing impossible maneuvers off the California coast. The Pentagon confirmed the footage but gave no real explanation. So either we're being visited, or physics finally gave up and just said, yeah, sure, that works now. 53. In 1980, Mount St. Helens erupted in Washington, but some insist they saw black helicopters in the sky days before, and military personnel mysteriously securing parts of the mountain afterward. Did they know something we didn't? Or were they just really passionate about volcano photography? The mystery stays buried under ash. And suspicion. 54. In 1961, Betty and Barney Hill became the first Americans to publicly claim alien abduction. Their story included missing time, medical experiments, and star charts drawn from hypnosis. Critics scoffed, until years later when astronomers confirmed one of the star systems Betty described actually existed. Either a lucky guess or those aliens really do give handouts. 55. In New Jersey, the Watcher House terrified a family when they received creepy anonymous letters from someone claiming to watch the home and wait for new blood. The writer seemed to know intimate details about the family. Police couldn't trace the source and the case remains open. Real stalker, bored novelist, or ghost with a grudge against modern real estate? 56. Mount Shasta in California isn't just a pretty view. It's a hotbed of bizarre claims. People say it hides secret underground cities inhabited by advanced beings called Lemurians. Others insist they've seen robed figures vanishing into the mountain. Could it be a New Age fantasy, or are ancient civilizations just really into dramatic entrances? 57. In 1974, a mysterious man calling himself Lazarus appeared in a Baltimore hospital. He spoke perfect English but had no fingerprints and no ID. After a few days of strange behavior, he vanished from a locked room. Poof, gone. Staff were baffled. Was it a prank? A government experiment? Or did he just have an excellent escape artist resume? 58. The Paul is dead rumor claimed that Paul McCartney died in 1966 and was replaced with a lookalike. While this started in the UK, Americans ran with it, digging through Beatles records for clues, playing songs backward, and accusing the band of hiding secret messages. It became one of history's strangest fan-led mysteries. And Paul? Still very much alive. Probably. 59. There's a small grave in Utah that claims to hold the remains of Ifat John Doe, an alien from the planet Lano. It's been maintained for decades by locals, and no one knows where the headstone came from. Joke? Hoax? Actual burial of Earth's least stealthy extraterrestrial? Either way, it's a roadside curiosity with out-of-this-world branding. 60. The legend of the black-eyed children started in Texas in the 90s. Stories of pale kids with jet black eyes knocking on doors at night, asking to be let in. Witnesses report overwhelming dread and strange energy. Are they vampires? Demons? Failed Twilight auditions? The encounters are rare but chilling, and always involve a polite but horrifying knock. 61. In 1942, Los Angeles lit up the sky. Not with fireworks, but with anti-aircraft fire aimed at a mysterious object during what's now called the Battle of Los Angeles. For hours, the military blasted the air with thousands of rounds, thinking it was a Japanese attack. But no enemy aircraft were ever found. Some say it was mass panic. Others say UFO. I say, whatever it was, it ruined a lot of sleep that night. 62. The Devil's Tramping Ground in North Carolina is a barren circle in the woods where nothing grows, and anything placed inside supposedly gets thrown out overnight. People say it's where the devil comes to pace in circles and plot evil things. Personally, I think he's just trying to get his daily steps in. Even the Prince of Darkness has to stay active. 63. In 1943, a West Virginia woman named Zona Heaster Shue was found dead, and it was her ghost that supposedly solved the case. Her mother claimed Zona's spirit visited her at night and described how her husband had murdered her. Authorities reopened the investigation, and the husband was convicted. So, yes, technically a ghost was once a witness in a U.S. murder trial. That's legal history with a supernatural twist. 64. Deep below Manhattan lies Grand Central Terminal's secret track 61, a private train platform used by President Franklin D. Roosevelt to discreetly enter the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. While it's mostly abandoned today, some say it's still used by powerful elites, or at least haunted by the ghosts of late commuters who missed their connection forever. 65. The town of Taft, California, has a statue of a man in a diving suit. Why? To commemorate a bizarre event in 1911, when a worker was reportedly sucked into an oil pipe and never found. Locals still whisper about the man in the pipe, and the statue stands like a surreal warning against getting too curious on the job. 66. In 2015, strange humanoid creatures with glowing eyes were spotted near Fresno, California. They became known as the Fresno Nightcrawlers, tall, thin, and basically 90% legs. They walk like haunted clotheslines and look like ghosts on stilts. Security cameras caught them, and experts still can't explain it. Honestly, if Pants had a horror movie, this would be it. 67. In Oklahoma, Elmer McCurdy's mummified corpse toured carnivals for decades before anyone realized he wasn't a wax dummy. He'd been an outlaw killed in 1911, embalmed, and passed around like a roadside attraction. He was finally buried in 1977 with concrete over his grave, to keep him from going on one last farewell tour. 68. There's a tiny lake in Oregon called Lost Lake that disappears every year. During spring, it drains through an underground lava tube like someone pulled the world's weirdest bathtub plug. Geologists still don't fully understand where the water ends up. Nature just casually flexing its glitch powers as usual. 69. Deep in the Nevada desert lies Area 51, the military base so secret it might as well be made of tinfoil and paranoia. Conspiracy theorists claim it's hiding everything from alien spacecraft to time machines to Elvis. The government only acknowledged its existence in 2013, which, let's be honest, didn't exactly help calm people down. 70. During the 1800s, Spring-Heeled Jack terrorized England with superhuman jumps and clawed hands. But in the early 1900s, similar sightings cropped up in the US, particularly in Louisville, Kentucky. People reported a terrifying man leaping over rooftops and hissing in the night. Was it a copycat, mass hysteria, or just Batman's great-great-grandpa? 71. The Cahokia Mounds in Illinois are remnants of a massive pre-Columbian city larger than London at the time. But no one knows why it was abandoned. Advanced agriculture, astronomy, and urban planning all vanished without a clear reason. It's like someone hit the civilizational reset button, and historians are still trying to find the remote. 72. In Texas, a mysterious blue man was spotted in the 1800s, a figure who reportedly glowed and ran faster than a horse. Witnesses said bullets didn't harm him, and that he shimmered like moonlight. Honestly, it sounds like someone accidentally invented the flash 150 years early and forgot to write it down. 73. Every few years, America gets a wave of mystery, booms across the skies. Loud explosive sounds that rattle windows, shake buildings, and leave no visible damage. Military, earthquakes, sky whales belly flopping, no one knows. They're loud, they're weird, and they make great excuses for blaming unfinished chores on mysterious vibrations. 74. On April 18, 1930, the BBC famously said, "There is no news," and played piano music instead. But in the US that same week, reports spread about strange sky phenomena and mass sleepwalking incidents. Some say it was just coincidence. Others claim we were all on the verge of some cosmic awakening that never quite finished buffering. 75. In 1987, a man using the pseudonym Robert claimed to have worked at a secret underground base in Dulce, New Mexico, where humans and aliens collaborated, until something went wrong. He described genetic experiments, laser fights, and teleportation tech. It sounds like sci-fi until you realize how many whistleblowers told similar stories. 76. The Lubbock Lights of 1951 were witnessed by dozens of people in Texas, including university professors. Large V-shaped formations of glowing blue lights swept silently across the night sky. No weather balloons, no aircraft were reported. It was either alien tech or an early, extremely low-budget light show gone rogue. 77. The Shaver mystery blew up in the 1940s when writer Richard Shaver claimed underground reptilian robots, yes, robots, were manipulating human thoughts from secret caverns beneath the US. People actually believed it. The magazine publisher didn't even deny it, so either the government was brainwashing us or someone got way too into their typewriter. 78. In 1950, a man named James Tedford vanished from a moving bus. Witnesses said he was seated one moment, then gone the next, while the bus was in motion and the windows closed. Did he fall through a portal, spontaneously demanifest? Or was it the most extreme bathroom break in history? 79. The Betts mystery sphere, found by a Florida family in 1974, was a shiny metal orb that moved on its own, emitted strange noises, and defied scientific analysis. The Navy, journalists, and even NASA examined it, but nobody could explain it. Either it was alien tech or the world's most advanced cat toy. 80. In 1975, 4 men on a Maine canoeing trip claimed they were abducted by a UFO. All 4 had matching missing time, recurring nightmares, and even passed lie detector tests. If it was a hoax, they stuck to it for decades. If not, it was the weirdest guy's weekend ever. 81. The Thomas Mantell incident in 1948 saw a U.S. pilot die while chasing a UFO over Kentucky. Reports said he was pursuing a metallic object, too high for his aircraft. Officially, it was a weather balloon. Unofficially, many think the military just really didn't want us asking what flies at 20,000 feet and terrifies trained pilots. 82. The Oakville blobs rained down over a small town in Washington in 1994. Gelatinous, translucent blobs that made people violently ill. Samples found human white blood cells and weird bacteria, but the source was never found. Alien germs? Government weather tests? Or did someone microwave Jell-O at the wrong altitude? 83. In the 1800s, people in Louisiana reported seeing flying humanoids with bat-like wings and glowing eyes. The newspapers dubbed them flying devils and even offered rewards for proof. The sightings faded over time, but every so often someone swears they've seen one again. If moths had gym memberships, this might be what they'd evolve into. 84. The Great Airship Panic of 1909 hit America hard. Sightings of massive, silent flying machines were reported across the country, years before airplanes became common. Some had searchlights, some landed and talked to farmers. One even offered stock tips. Either it was mass hysteria or Elon Musk was testing prototypes way ahead of schedule. 85. In a strange 1890 court case, a San Francisco man argued that his property was haunted and he refused to pay taxes on it. Witnesses confirmed seeing floating heads, flying objects, and violent paranormal activity. The city still demanded taxes because apparently not even ghosts can dodge the IRS. 86. The mysterious wow signal in 1977 gets all the fame. But in 2004, a similar unexplained radio burst was picked up by a US telescope. No repeating pattern, no origin. Just a deep space ping that sounded like someone butt-dialed Earth from across the galaxy. And like most missed calls, they never rang again. 87. The SS Urang Medan ghost ship story claims a US ship responded to a distress call from another vessel. When they arrived, the entire crew was dead, eyes wide with horror, arms frozen in defensive poses. The ship then exploded and sank. No records of the Urang Medan exist, but the US crew swore it was real. Was it? 88. In the 1960s, reports of Men in Black emerged across the US. Not the Will Smith kind, but creepy, robotic men in dark suits warning witnesses to keep quiet about UFOs. Some were so strange they didn't even seem human. Either they were real government agents or AI customer service reps practicing in the field. 89. In 2003, dozens of people in Texas and the Midwest reported strange trumpet-like sounds from the sky. Loud, metallic, and seemingly without a source. Churches claimed it was the apocalypse. Scientists blamed skyquakes. But if you've never heard the sound of the Earth clearing its throat, welcome to America's weirdest concert. 90. In 1897, a Martian airship allegedly crashed near Aurora, Texas. Locals said a small body was recovered and buried in the town cemetery. A headstone was even erected for the alien. The grave disappeared decades later, and the cemetery now has a no-digging rule, which feels like a red flag, honestly. 91. On Mount Rainier in 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold reported 9 flying objects moving at impossible speeds, coining the term flying saucers. But here's the twist. He never said they were saucer-shaped. He actually said they moved like saucers skipping across water. The press just ran with it. So yes, UFO lore started with a misunderstanding. 92. Let's not forget the sound. In cities like Seattle, Tampa, and parts of Alaska, people report hearing an unsettling, low-frequency hum, often at night. It's not machines, it's not natural, and it's driving people nuts. Scientists call it the hum. I call it Earth's passive-aggressive ringtone we can't shut off. 93. Every few decades, cattle in the American Midwest are found mutilated with surgical precision. Organs removed, no blood, no tracks. No predators or tools can explain the damage. Locals blame aliens. The government says unknown scavengers, which might be the creepiest possible way to say we have no clue. 94. Since the 1970s, people in Sedona, Arizona, have claimed strange energy vortexes exist there. Locations where the Earth's magnetic field supposedly twists reality. Some say it enhances psychic powers. Others say it's just an excuse to wear lots of turquoise and wave crystals at strangers. Either way, tourists swear something weird is in the air. 95. The Tom and Shud case is usually credited to Australia, but here's the twist. A very similar case occurred in 1951 in New York, where an unidentified man was found dead with a coded message in his pocket and no fingerprints. CIA, poetry cults, or just someone who watched too much noir? Nobody ever cracked it. 96. The black helicopters. Paranoia started in the US in the 1990s. People claimed to see silent, unmarked helicopters hovering over rural areas at night. Some blamed alien surveillance, others secret government ops. Or maybe farmers just had too much time to look up between crops and conspiracy radio. 97. In 1976, a giant UFO supposedly hovered over Fort Knox, Kentucky. Military personnel described a silent, glowing craft the size of a football field. Their official report mysteriously disappeared. The real question is, were the aliens there for gold? Or just curious why humans keep hoarding shiny rocks? 98. California's dark watchers have been reported in the Santa Lucia Mountains since before Spanish colonization. They're described as tall, shadowy figures watching hikers from a distance. But they vanish when approached. Creepy, definitely. But also kind of polite for supernatural entities. 99. In 1994, a small town in Michigan experienced one of the most credible mass UFO sightings in U.S. history. Dozens saw lights hovering over Lake Michigan, confirmed by radar and police. One officer said it split into 5 objects and shot straight up. So unless the lake was doing magic tricks, something strange really happened. 100. Every Halloween, hundreds of jack-o'-lanterns appear on the bluffs above Sleepy Hollow, New York, without anyone seeing who placed them. It's not a tourist stunt, and no group claims responsibility. Whether it's ghosts, pranksters, or just some really enthusiastic pumpkin delivery service, the vibe is pure mystery. 101. And finally, let's talk about you. Yes, you, dear viewer. Because if you've made it through all 101 mysterious events, here's the biggest mystery of all. Why are we so drawn to the unexplained? Is it curiosity, hope, fear? Or just the thrill that maybe, just maybe, we aren't being told the whole story? One thing's for sure, mystery loves company, and now, you're part of it. So, what did we learn? That ghosts don't respect state lines, aliens have a thing for the Midwest, and absolutely no one knows what the heck is going on in Utah. But honestly, we wouldn't have it any other way. America may not have all the answers, but it sure knows how to keep things weird. Hit that subscribe button, because the next mystery, you don't want to miss it.